Hi, so the question says that we have been given a grid of m cross n, and then we have to find all the possible paths from the starting of the grid to the end of the grid. So a robot is lying over here. Now it has to go to the end of the grid. So how many possible paths are there to reach from this point to this point? And the only permissible way through which the robot can move is either right or down. These are the two directions in which the robot can move at any point of time. But there is one constraint given in the question. The constraint is the robot can only move if we are having 0 at that particular index. So if we are having 0, then at that point of time the robot can move. But if we are having 1, then it is an obstacle. So robot cannot overcross through the obstacle. So 0 is basically free path and 1 is obstacle. Okay, so let's try to figure out how many paths are there for this given matrix. So the robot can move right, okay, then again move right, then move down, then move down. So this is one of the paths. Okay, the other path can be the robot can move down, it can move right, but since it is 1, we are having obstacles, so it will not move right. Then again it will move down, then it can move right, again it can move right. So these are the only two possible paths through which the robot can go from the starting to the end of the matrix. Okay, so how do we solve this problem? Let's try to draw the state space tree for the given matrix. So the robot has started from this point on, so that position is 0 0 in the matrix. See, this is 0 0 position, then 0 1 0 2. I have named all the indexes in the matrix. Okay, so from 0 0 it has two options. Either it can move right or it can move down. So if it moves right, then from 0 0 it will go to 0 1. Okay, or it can move down. If it moves down, then it will go to 1 0. Now from 0 1 again it has two options. Either it can move right or it can move down. Okay, right or down, right or down. If it moves right from 0 1, then it becomes 0 2, and if it moves down from 0 1, then it is 1 1. Similarly for 1 0 it is but from 0 2 it can only move down, because if it moves right, then it will cross the boundary of the matrix, which we don't want. So similarly I have drawn the complete paths. Okay, similarly from 1 1 it can either go right or it can go down. If it goes right, then it will land to 1 2, or it will go to 2 1, and similarly from 1 2 it can only go down. Okay, and from 2 1 it can only go right. So how do we solve this problem? The solution is pretty straightforward. First we'll write the boundary conditions. The boundary conditions are pretty easy. The robot cannot move outside the boundary of the grid, and it cannot cross where we are having an obstacle, where the value of the grid is 1. So these are the two boundary conditions. So let's write it down first. Since we can see from the state space tree, this problem is recursive in nature, because we started from 0 0 and now we have broken it down into a self-similar problem which is smaller, which is 0 1. Now again we are applying the same rules what we are applying for 0 0. So this problem is recursive in nature. Okay, we started from the 0th index and we are going all the way to 2 2, that is we are going bottom up. We have started from 0 0, that is the starting index, and then we are going to the last index. That is why it is bottom up. We are piling the solution from smaller sub problems. We are combining smaller sub problems and creating the solution for the bigger problem. So how do we solve this problem? Row is nothing but the total number of rows that we are having in this particular grid, and what is column? The total number of columns that we are having over here. So row starts from 0 and goes all the way till row starts from 0 and goes all the way till we reach this particular row length, and column starts from again from 0 and till we reach this column. Okay, we don't have, at any point of time we don't have to overcross the matrix boundary. So that is what we have to take care of over there. So if I is the current variable, which is current, whatever is the current state of the matrix that we are storing in I, that represents the row value, and j represents the column value of the current cell. So if I is greater than or equal to row, or j is greater than or equal to column, okay, if we are having these two conditions, and if we anyhow land into this obstacle, if any cell is having the value as 1, then we don't want to go over there. Okay, or grid of I and j is equal to 1. These are the boundary conditions. So if any of these conditions are satisfied, then that will not be the part of our solution. So we will return 0 in that case. And what is the point where we stop? When the robot reaches this particular point, it reaches the end of the grid, end of the matrix. At that point we stop. So that condition we can write, if I is equal to row minus 1, since we started from 0, so it will be 1 less than that, and j is equal to column minus 1, and but we have to also make sure that it is not having 1 over here. Okay, it should be 0, then only the robot can move to the end of the matrix. Okay, and grid I j equal to 0, then we have found one possible path. Okay, so this is one of the possible paths that we are having. Okay, now in this state space tree, you can see we cannot go through this path, we cannot go via this path because it is having the obstacle at 1 1. We cannot go via this path. Okay, again it is having obstacle. So if we would have chosen this path, then it would have led to 2 more paths. So we would have gotten 4 more paths if we would have chosen 1 1 over here. But since we are not choosing 1 1 because of the obstacle, so these 2 paths are excluded. These 4 paths are basically excluded from here. So we are practically having only 2 paths as our solution. Okay, so if I is equal to row minus 1 and j is equal to column minus 1, that indicates that our current cell has reached over here, our robot has reached over here, and the obstacle is also not there. So grid ij is equal to 0, so we can move forward. So that is one of the possible paths. So we are returning 1. Now in the next iteration it will, in the next recursion it will return 1 more, which we will add to the previous value. Now what is the actual recursive function over here? So we are basically having 2 options, either we can move right or we can move down. Okay, so in order to move right, suppose what we can do is, now this problem is also similar to the previous problem. Okay, so it will be get, we are calling the same method, get unique path. Grid will be same, it will not change. Row length will be same, column length would be same. But what we are doing basically over here is, in I we are moving forward keeping j constant. Okay, see from 0 0 we are moving to 0 1. Okay, so I we are basically keeping constant and j we are incrementing, and while we are moving down then we are incrementing I keeping j constant from 0 0 to 1 0. So I is getting incremented and j is constant over here. So while we are moving right, we are keeping I constant and incrementing j. Okay, so I will get incremented but j will remain constant. Okay, so if we are moving right, then this will be our sub problem, but if we are moving down, then it will become get unique path grid now. If we are moving down, then I will get incremented and j will remain constant because we are moving from 0 0 to 1 0. So I is getting incremented and j is constant over here. Here j will get incremented. Okay. Now in order to move right, this is the solution, and in order to move down, this is the solution. Now we want total number of paths via going right and via going down, via going right and via going down. So we want the addition of both the paths. If we go right, then how many paths we'll get, and if we go down, then how many ever paths we are getting. We want the summation of both the paths, then we'll be having total number of paths. So we'll return right plus down. So this is basically the recursive solution for this problem. Now in this problem we are trying to calculate a particular sub problem too many times. Suppose if there was not having an obstacle at 1 1, then we would have calculated this sub problem 2 times, right? We would have calculated the solution for 1 1 2 times. Okay, so if we have been given a bigger matrix, in that case we will be having too many overlapping sub problems, which will be a problem if we try to solve them again and again. So why don't we keep the solution to any particular cell in one extra matrix, and whenever we encounter that particular sub problem, suppose if we have kept the solution, what is the solution for this? The number of unique paths to reach 1 1. If we know the number of unique paths to reach 1 1, and then if we encounter it over here, then we can get the solution from the solution matrix which we have created for this particular cell. Okay, so we can create a DP matrix over here. Now this is the solution matrix. For 0 0, it stores the total number of paths to reach 0 0 position. For 0 1, it stores the total number of paths to reach 0 1 position. For 0 2, the same thing. Similarly for all the paths. The moment we reach this particular cell, then we have the answer, because the robot starts from here and it has to go till this point. Okay. Okay, so how many ways are there to reach to 0 0 position? To reach 0 0, since the robot is already there, so there is only one possible way. Okay, to reach 0 1, how many possible ways are there? See, the robot is over here, this is the source and this is the destination, so there is only one path. Again, to reach to 0 2, again there is one path. Now this is the source, this is the destination. We are not talking about any intermediate destination over here. So this is the source, this is the destination, so there is only one path. Okay, now to reach this particular cell, if it is at 0 0 and it has to go to 1 0, then again we have only one path. Then if it has to reach 2 0 without including the intermediate path, then there is only one path. Okay, now we have to calculate for this cell 1 1. Suppose we are not having any obstacle right now, we will include it later on. Now if we have to reach to this cell 1 1, then how many paths are there? The one path is the robot can move to the right, then move down, or it can first move down and then move right. Okay, so these are the two paths that we are having. You can even see in the state space tree, the robot can take this path or it can take this path. So we want the addition of both the paths. Okay, so now if it takes this path, now 0 1, we already know the solution for this path. For 0 1 we are having 1, so there is only one way to reach 0 1. So there is only one way to reach 0 1, that is from 0 0 to 0 1 there is only one path. Then from 0 0 to 1 0 there is only one path. Okay, now from 0 1 to 1 1 there is only one path. From 1 0 to 1 1 there is only one path. So total how many paths are there if we are allowed to move either right or down? So total number of paths is 2. So it is the summation of this one, that is 0 1, what we have stored over here, and 1 0. Okay, so this will become 2, right? So it is basically 0 1 plus 1 0, moving down and moving right or moving right. So this is 2. Now if we have to reach 1 2, then how many paths are there? Either it can move right, okay, and then move down, or it can move down and then move right. So from 0 0 it has to reach 1 2. So that is one of the possible paths. Either it can take this path, or it can take this path, or it can take this path. So there are 3 possible paths to reach 1 2. So there are total of 3 possible paths to reach 1 2. So again, for 0 2 we know how many possible paths are there to reach. Only one. From 0 0 to 0 2 there is only one path. Now to reach 1 1, we already know number of possible paths, that is 2. Okay, so from 0 0 to 1 1 there are 2 paths. Then from 1 1 to 1 2 there is only one path. Okay, similarly from 0 2 to 1 2 there is only one path. Okay, this is one path, this is second path, and this is the, see, to reach 1 1 we are having 2 paths. Then to reach 1 2 from here we are having only one path. So total how many paths are there? 1 2 and 3. So which is basically the summation of the paths that we have stored over here. So either we can move down or we can move right. So that is basically 1 1 plus 0 2, that is 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. So 3 is the total number of paths that we are having to reach 1 2. Fine. Now to calculate for 2 1, then again we can sum these two. We can either move down from the point where we have reached, or we can move right. So total 3. Then in order to reach to this cell, how many paths are there? Either we can move down to the point from 0 0 where we have moved to 1 2 cell, or we can move right. So total number of paths is 6. So total number of paths are 6. As you can see over here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 is the total number of paths to reach from 0 0 to the end of the matrix, right? Now if we are having an obstacle, that obstacle is at 1 1. Okay, so again, to reach from 0 0 to 0 1 to 0 2 we are having only one possible way. Okay, now to reach from 0 0 to 1 0 there is only one possible way. From 0 0 to 2 0 is also one possible way. Since we cannot move to 1 1, so there is no possible path over there, so we'll store 0 in that case. Now in order to move to 1 2, again it is the sum of these two paths, that is 0 2 and 0, that is 1. Then to move to 1 again, 1 plus 0, that is 1, and to move to 2 2 there is 1 2 plus 2 1, that is 2. these are the two paths that we are having. So the only thing that we have to take care is that once we encounter any obstacle, then we cannot move in that path. So in the solution matrix we'll store 0 over there. Other than that, it is the summation of either moving right or moving down. The time complexity for the recursive solution would be 2 raised to power n. Why? Because at every point we are partitioning that particular cell into 2 smaller subcells. Then again this cell is broken into 2 smaller subcells. Then again this is broken into 2 smaller subcells. Now these are the boundary, but if we are having a very large matrix, then again it will get divided into 2 smaller subcells. So eventually it will land up to 2 raised to power n, the time complexity in the worst scenario. But if we are saving or if we are catching the previous solution, then the time complexity would be m cross n, because it will only scan a particular cell once, because it will not calculate 1 1 again and again as it is doing in this scenario. It will only calculate 1 1 once. So that is why it can maximum cover the entire matrix. So that would be the time complexity. So while writing the solution for this, for what we are doing, first we are calculating the value of all the column and then row. We are filling it with the values. But there is one special scenario that you have to take care of. If suppose the obstacle is over here, then from 0 0 to 0 1 there is no path. Okay, so in the solution matrix there will be 0 path over here, because we are having obstacle. Now if we have to move to 0 2, from 0 0 there is no way we can move to 0 2 without first coming to 0 1, and since we are not having any path over there, and in that scenario the path to 0 2 will not be there, so we will have to copy the previous value which was there. Okay, so for 0 1 we were having 0, so that will be copied over here. Similarly for the row part also, this is how it will happen. So if we are having an obstacle over here, now we cannot move to this side. Okay, so we will fill it with 0, because we are having 0 paths from 0 0 to 1 0. Now if we have to go from 0 0 to 2 0, then we will go via 1 0, but since there is no path from here, so we have to make sure whatever we have filled, whatever is the state of this particular cell, should be the state of this cell as well. So it will also become 0 in that scenario. This is the only case we have to take care of. Other than that, for all the diagonals and other parts, we will follow the same rule. If we are having an obstacle, then we are not having any path. If we are not having any obstacle, then it is the sum of by moving right or by moving down.